Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of B is for Build. In today's episode, we're working on the R35 GT-R donor car, making progress on it to turn it into that skateboard that we need so we can take the R34 body and place it on top. This is one of those things where if you ever seen like a big episode of Hoarders where they gotta like pull everything out and it looks like total chaos before they can wrap it all up, that's what we're gonna start doing here. It's gonna look a lot worse before it looks better. So in today's episode, cutting is the number one thing that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut the roof off this thing and turn it into a convertible just for fun, and then we'll continue making progress on turning it into a skateboard. Stay tuned. You may notice something looks a little different. That window and the windows are down. I first went around to the front and the back and snipped any wires that had been like ripped out or anything like that. Snipped them short so they don't short circuit on anything and blow any extra fuses. So I cleaned up all the wiring, threw a jumper pack onto the battery, and to my very happy surprise, the car was able to turn right onto accessory. I did not try and crank the engine, obviously. Turn it right onto accessory and hit the window roll down button, and they all rolled down. So my journey to, first step is going to be convertibilizing this thing just for fun. I just want to see what it looks like. So we need to remove these A-pillar covers. This is one piece that goes from here to here. I've made the mistake of breaking one once before. And so I'm gonna watch a YouTube video on how to properly uninstall these things, so hopefully I won't break another one, and I'll pop these guys off so we can save them for, I don't know, the next person that wants one. YouTube video works great. I see why you guys watch these things. This is our keeper parts pile. We got all the molding off, and then the little backing metal pieces and the trim pieces off in one piece. Nothing broke. So now's the fun part. Now I literally just get to start cutting it whatever I want. To make it a convertible, the way that it would be cut is this window would be gone and be cut through here, and through here, right in front of the windshield. So I'm gonna try and start getting through some of those things. This pillar right here is important for us. We don't want to completely kill this. It has a seatbelt mount right here that we won't be using, but we need to make sure we took the seatbelt off, which somebody previously already did. Really weird. That's already off for us, so that's important because we don't want to cut through the seatbelt, because we actually do need to use the seatbelt inside this interior of this car. So that's good. Probably pop some trim panels off and just start cutting away. Well, that was fun and really easy. All the interior panels just popped right off. Now, I'm pretty concerned because they basically nothing had any bolts in it. Somebody has been back here really recently doing exactly what I did. Even actually this seatbelt was already, this bolt down here, this seatbelt was already undone when I got into this car. And then as I started pulling stuff away, I mean, everything was loose. The shock tower is right back there. The bolts that hold the shock in there are not even tightened down. They're not even all the way threaded down. So that's pretty concerning. Sometimes you'll have an inspector on a crash car like this, you'll have an inspector come through and inspect the damage to see if there's any damage back here, which it looks pretty good. So it could have been that, or my only other guess is that the previous owner swapped out aftermarket shocks for the stock ones. It's pretty unlikely with like this much damage that they got the car kind of up and got the wheel off and got everything out of there to be able to swap that shock. I don't know, it's still possible, but it seems like a not worthwhile cause. I mean, who has like aftermarket coilovers and gets this much damage on their car and is like, wait, I want to get my coilovers back? I think the average Joe would be like, oh, my coilovers are broken. In my experience, the best builds and the best cars are always quite a mystery, so I'm just gonna let the mystery live on. We're gonna start cutting. Since I started modifying cars, I've always been really obsessed with the idea of taking a stock car like this with a stock hard roof and making it a Targa top. They don't make a lot of Targa top cars anymore. If you don't know what that is, it's something that they used to do in the 90s, like on the Fast and Furious Supra, it had a Targa top. And they stopped doing it because I think it wasn't safe enough is my guess. They still do it on some cars, like I believe the C8 Corvette comes in a Targa top, and there's a few other ones, but they're very rare. Anyways, I do think it can be pulled off if you add in the right safety stuff back with roll cages and whatnot. So I just want to see how this thing's going to look if we were to cut the Targa top. So I'm going to just make a cut like right here, right by this B-pillar right here, right in front of the B-pillar right here, across, and then I'll do the windshield cut across, and we'll just see how it would look. Now this car obviously can't be a Targa top because we're doing the body swap, but we're just playing around with ideas here. I feel like I'm really onto something here, you guys. This looks really cool. You have to kind of squint a little bit to imagine that the back isn't smashed in and most of the front isn't missing. But if you just focus on this section right here, pretty cool, right? So it would help if I remove some of this tape. There we go. I got all the tape off the door and around here and off of here, so you guys can see kind of how it looks better. Man, I'm really digging this idea. I think we might have to do this on a future build. I've got just the build in mind. You guys will see it in 2022, about this time of the year next year. And another really good news, the door is still open and closed perfectly, so that means that there wasn't a lot of tension from the accident on the chassis torquing this thing around. Once we cut the roof off, it's not like it kind of snapped into a different shape. It's still in roughly the same shape it needs to be, so that's good news. Now I need to move on with cutting. We're gonna get closer to like a convertible look. I'm gonna go ahead and make some cuts underneath here, through here till I get back here, and then we gotta cut the outer skin of the quarter panel off of here. So the game plan was to try and cut this like a convertible, and I'm trying to get through here, and I can't cut through all of that stuff at once to make a nice clean cut around. So I can't really do that. I can't really make it look like a convertible. I just got to cut this apart in any way that I can. Let's be honest, there's no way that was going to look any better than this Targa top idea. That was definitely the best way it's going to look anyways. So now it's just a free-for-all. I'm just going to start cutting at stuff wildly. I'm going to get this outer skin off of a lot of the stuff. That way I can see what's underneath it and what I want to take off, because some of the underskin I want to keep for the structure. So I'm probably going to cut this quarter panel off there and then get underneath that beam that you can kind of see right here, get under here and cut through and around. Made pretty quick work of that panel right there. Got a cut coming through here, and with the reciprocating saw I've been able to take away a lot of stuff very fast. But now we're getting close to the strut tower, which is a very important part of the structure that we need to keep where it is. I don't want to accidentally cut into it, and I don't want to mess up any of its supports. It's right about in here where my hand is. So to be able to work cleanly, I need to be able to see where I'm going, which means this glass needs to come out. So we're going to do a quick rear window removal, Kyle and I. Whenever we're doing glass, be it windshield glass or side glass or anything, this is my preferred tool. You can grab these down at Harbor Freight. You use this guy to stick this wire through the rubber, like the gasketing, like say go through a side right here, stick it through, and then you get one handle on each side of that wire, and then you do like a little sawing effect, and that'll saw through the rubber gasketing all the way around your glass and let you remove it. From the inside here too, you can see that there is, right where my thumb is, there's little clips oftentimes in the top corners. That's when people are doing the installation, so the glass doesn't slide down as it's settling. So these little clips you're going to want to watch out for with your wire, because they can be a pain. I like to just kind of cut around them. And I got that glass right out of there. Sometimes when you're working through with that wire, you're gonna catch little overhangs of metal because the car is constructed with a bunch of different overlapping pieces of metal. If you get stuck on something, it feels like you're stuck on a piece of metal, stop, go to a different spot and start going the other direction, try and eventually come back at it from a different direction. That's my tip on that one. It's very, very hard your first time, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. So now I have clear vision of the strut tower. Right here is the strut tower. This is the stuff I didn't want to accidentally cut into. So I'm gonna start my cut way up here, like right about here where this thing makes an angle, go from here down to my other cut over here, and that'll completely detach this side of the roof, what's left of the roof, from this side, and then I get to jump over to the other side and start doing the same thing. All right, now we're making progress. Went ahead and made that cut right through here, pulled the whole roof panel off. Oh, I also cut it free over there. So now we got to go on to the other side. Same type of process here. I'm going to go ahead and make that cut through there and then a cut through there. I'll go ahead and cut this outer skin of the rear quarter panel off as well while I'm in here. Aha! Convertible. Now, obviously that area is, you know, just pretend that's black right there. But what you can see from doing this is if you had a convertible, it'd be very oddly shaped or proportioned with the way that the seats are, and then you'd have to have a roll cage hoop sitting up right here. Just kind of visually not make it very good. So Targa top is definitely the optimal way to do this. So now it's time to stop screwing around basically and visualizing different things. It's time to just start cutting tons and tons of stuff away. For now, I'm going to leave this back bulkhead here and the strut towers because it's going to keep the strut towers in place, and I'm going to leave that stuff there too. I'm going to go ahead and just pull the trunk lid off and see how much access it gives me to this back end of all this crumpled up stuff. It's going to be very, very challenging to cut out of there, so I guess we start right here. Oh my god, that looks terrible. So I made sure to get this carbon fiber spoiler off in one piece. This is a piece made by Nissan. It's actually really nice and it's still in relatively good condition. It's just this piece right here is broken. I don't know if it'll look good on the R34 or not. A really talented car concept artist named Brad Builds threw an STI wing, which is somewhat similar, it's a lot taller than this, on a Skyline, and it looked pretty cool. So right now I've already got one wing picked out and ordered. It's actually here already for the R34, but this one may look even better, so we'll test this one out as well. No surprise to anyone, taking the trunk lid off didn't really exactly expand our horizons a little bit. We have just a total mess back here that we got to deal with. So I'm gonna start by taking the impact bar off and start seeing what little things I can cut away. I need to be very careful of the tail light wiring, and the rear bumper wiring was right here. This looks like an antenna for the key fob, so I'll throw those aside, make sure we don't cut through those. We need to save all that wiring, and then just start cutting away any small thing I can to really start notching that away and get away. Basically the idea is so we have this rear bend, it comes through here, we need to go straight down, take all the rest of that stuff off. Little bit of cutting and a lot of unbolting, and I got that rear impact bar off and all the exhaust stuff out of here. I thought that exhaust was titanium. It ended up being stainless steel, which is kind of a bummer. I really want to go titanium on this car, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and order that. This guy right here is our lower subframe, our rear subframe. That's what we had to replace on our last GT-R. This one is pretty busted up. We will either be replacing it or we will be kind of rebuilding it the B is for build way. I could see us very easily making the chop right here and right here. The damage doesn't seem to go into the subframe itself. It's just these arms, these connecting arms. So we might go ahead and make the chop and then rebuild them in our own way. But we'll see once we get more of this material out of the way. What you guys will see in the next episode when I fully turn this thing into the skateboard. We're gonna take the doors off. We got the front fenders, the windshield to be cut off. A bunch more stuff is gonna come off of this thing, and it's gonna be, well, we actually measured the bulkhead against the R34, and this thing looks like it can stay, so it's not gonna be as skateboardy as the Mustang looked, but it's gonna be really, really torn down. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any videos, and we'll see you guys on the next one.